Hi everybody, and welcome to another tutorial on using a component of the Smart Notebook. Today we're going to focus on the gallery and the resources that are available for educators to use in the classroom. Now, one of the things we're going to be looking at, and when you downloaded the actual Smart Book software, you should have gotten a package that said resources for educators installed with the software. When you click on the actual gallery button that's located here on the right-hand side, what you're going to see is a bunch of different resources that are available, so the essentials for educators. Now, what's great about this is that you can insert clip art, you can insert graphic organizers, background images, video, really anything that can be used to scaffold and support student learning. So for instance, if you have students who are visual learners, you might be able to find a graphic here that can be used to explain a concept to them or organize a concept to them. If you have students who are not familiar with certain vocabulary, you can introduce the vocabulary along with the picture that is there so they can start making associations between the two. But what I'm going to show you today is how to access and go through this so that you can create a Smart Book presentation that can be used in your classroom, and it can be tailored to your classroom. So what I thought about today was doing a presentation on the Civil War. So what I typed up here in the search box is Civil War, and I'm going to hit search. And what it comes up with is I have some related folders, I got some pictures and backgrounds, and some notebook files and pages. If you look at the notebooks, files, and pages, you can see that it has a map of the British Civil War. Well, that's not something I'm really interested in, so I'm going to ignore that for the moment and go up and see what they have in pictures and backgrounds. The number that's in parentheses tells you how many resources were available in that topic that you got. If you scroll down, you can see there's some pictures of the African slaves, of an American soldier, the Confederate flag, Jefferson Davis, slaves working on a plantation. So you can actually use those to show students, what happened during this, why we had the Civil War. What I'm going to actually focus on are the related folders. So what's nice about the Essentials for Educators is that Smart Book has actually put together these folders of topics. So if I click on the American Civil War, I'm going to get some related pictures and backgrounds that I can use. So let's say I wanted to do something on Abraham Lincoln. All I have to do is actually drag the picture onto the Smart Notebook page, and it's there. I can resize the image by moving the corner. I can make it larger or smaller. In this case, I'm going to make it smaller. Now, if I wanted to enter text into here, I would go to the text box, create a text box here, and let's say I'm going to type in President Lincoln, because I wanted my students to know who President Lincoln was. I'm going to change the font to something I like. Trebuchet is fine. The size, I thought, well, let's make it a little bigger, so I'm going to make the size a little larger. And I'm set, so I'm going to close out the text box. Now I want to move my text box, so I have to go back up to the arrow icon, the pointer, and I'm able to now grab the text box. But let's say that I wanted to move the image and the text box, but I didn't want to have to move each as a separate item. Well, what you need to do is you need to highlight both items, and you'll see that two boxes show up. If you go to the corner up at the top, you're going to see something called grouping. If I group the two, that means that these two, the picture and the text box, are no longer separate entities on the Smartboard Notebook page. They are now together, so if I want to move them, wherever I move, the two will move together. All right, that is one tool to use. So what you're going to be doing in this conference today is you're going to be going through the resource, the Essentials for Educators, and I want you to create one notebook page using these resources available to you. In addition to creating the notebook page, I also want you to illustrate mastery of this objective, where you have learned how to group the text or two images together into one. And then you're going to post it in the conference section.